Hello, Panther families. I'm Liz Massey, Director of Communications for Cabot Public Schools, and joining me is Superintendent Dr. Tony Thurman, and it certainly has been a busy past few months.
Busy, quite unbelievable, and we hope parents have been following us on our roadmap to reopening on our district website.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to come together. We have a frequently asked questions section, and we wanted to go over some of our parents' concerns and questions, and the big one, which just changed a couple days ago, is the official start date for schools.
I can announce the official start date for Cabot schools and all programs will be Monday, August the 24th.
So that includes our Digital Academy as well as ACE and ACE North.
Correct.
All right, Monday, August 24th. Also, let's talk, before we get into some more deeper questions, let's talk about traditional blended learning. The word blended may have some parents a little confused about that word.
Right, and districts use the words interchangeably, so it is confusing when you look at other districts' plans and you hear the words blended, you hear the word virtual, you hear the word hybrid. Every district is specific in terms of what their program looks like, and they use the same terminology, so it can be very confusing. But our term for our traditional program is traditional blended. Those are for the students that will return to school on site. Now the blended aspect is added in because as we closed last March, we can't do that again. That can't happen. And now we are prepared, per the direction of the Department of Education, is that we now have blended learning plans in place. There's no more AMI days. So if we close for the pandemic, or if we close for bad weather, we transition into blended learning, which means the teachers that are teaching on site will work with their same students in a blended environment. That means from home until we can transition back to school.
And one thing that will help with traditional blended learning, everyone will be receiving Chromebooks.
Yes, information on that to be coming out in the next few days, but every student will receive a Chromebook, and it will be theirs to keep throughout the year.
Now, another big issue that parents, especially pre-K parents and kindergarten parents, is that first day of school and being able to walk their student in. Kind of talk about what that's going to look like.
I get it. That's an important part of schooling, and we want parents to have that moment. Can't quite say exactly what it's going to look like yet. What I can tell you for sure is that we're going to take good care of the kids. We're going to make sure that we get them where they need to be, and students are resilient. They'll figure it out really quick, and we're going to take good care of them. But what I can share today is a lot of concern about not having an open house this year. Well, the week before we actually open on the 24th, we will have a date set aside for parents to come to the school, K-12, be able to visit with their child's teachers, tour the building, check out the facilities. So we'll make sure that happens. We'll have the information out on that as soon as possible.
And our principals are wonderful. They'll have a plan and they'll make sure the kiddos get to the classroom. Talk about, I know a lot of people have asked you, Dr. Thurman, can you please give me a visual of what school will look like, from social distancing in the classroom? Will there be transitions? What will recess or lunch look like?
Well, we're working on those plans now through our committees and then our principals. And it's no way that I can be specific today and say this is exactly what every school is going to look like, because it'll be different. Every school has a different configuration, different staffing plans, different scheduling. What I can tell parents right now is that before we open, the principals will be sharing that information with them in advance, so they'll fully understand what their child's day will look like. The one thing I can tell you is something we've really worked hard on and have kept in mind is we want to mitigate as many risks as possible. Can't guarantee something won't happen, but we're going to do all we can to take care of the children and deal with this challenge that we've been confronted with. But school's fun. School has to be a safe place. Kids have to enjoy coming to school, and we want them to. So that while we want to mitigate as many risks and there will be some changes, we do not want our schools to feel like institutions. We want kids to still love coming to school and being a part of the district and having that experience of being in class every day.
What can you tell us about the Cabot Panther Digital Academy? What's a day? What kind of day will that look like? A visual for them? Because some people wonder, if school starts at 8 o'clock, will they open their Chromebook at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, the most important thing I can tell parents that are enrolling in the CPDA is please understand this is not what we ended with. This is all new, and there'll be instruction every day. We're actually hiring our teachers, our classroom teachers, to make sure that our curriculum is being taught, and there will be expectations each and every day. The schedule is not set yet. The students will work with their parents and the teachers on the schedule for what their day looks like, but there will be expectations. Not only will there be work every day, we'll be progressing online just like we are in a classroom. So they've got to be attentive, they've got to be present. There'll be quizzes, there'll be assessments, we'll be taking grades. So this isn't what we closed with. This is an all new way of thinking, and parents and students need to be prepared for that because it will be very challenging.
Now, speaking of our digital academy. There's a new change,
Right.
and we'll speak about that I think a lot of parents and we're happy about as well.
Right, we heard it from our parents, and one of the things that they were concerned about with CPTA is not being able to participate in extracurricular activities through the Arkansas Activities Association. So we are glad to announce that effective immediately for students enrolling in the CPDA, they will be eligible to participate in extracurricular activities, and those activities are listed on the AAA website. We'll have it on our website within the next day. If you have already enrolled in the CPDA and there's an activity on the website that you're interested in, you'll just need to contact the athletic office or the business office. If you've not enrolled in CPDA, you have through the remainder of the week to do so, and then you'll just need to make contact with athletics or the principal's office. And if you've enrolled in ACE or ACE North and want to enroll in CPDA instead, just fill out the application and move forward. But we are excited about this change.
Well, speaking of change, some parents are still, on the fence trying to decide what option they want to go to. And so they're asking, if they decide this, can they change a few weeks later? What advice can you give them?
Well, I know this is a very hard decision, and we're going to be as patient as we can. We need parents to understand, too, that we're trying to provide as many options as we can, but at some point we've got to get numbers because we're going to be using our faculty to teach these classes through the CPDA, and we're going to staff accordingly. And that means there'll be changes in the buildings because those students that were going to be in class are now going to be digital. So we've got to make a lot of staffing decisions in the next coming days and weeks before we open on the 24th. So the deadline is next week, but if a parent has an extenuating circumstance, I'm not going to make someone stay in an environment in which it's just not working for them. We're going to work with them, but for the most part, we are asking you to commit. We're asking you to be a part of this at least for the semester, but I'll also say this, if there's an extenuating circumstance, either direction, and you need to make a change, you just need to contact us and we're going to work with you.
Now, earlier you mentioned that we had a team of people that's working on our roadmap to reopening. Kind of explain that in case others may not know who's on the team.
Right. I can't make all the decisions myself. There's a lot of plates spinning right now, unlike anything I've ever dealt with, but it's been quite a challenge. But we do have a lot of teams working right now to prepare us to open on the 24th. There's a lot of details that are forthcoming. As we opened with, things are changing daily. So we're constantly monitoring and meeting with our groups. We have parents, we have students, we have teachers, we have administrators, and then of course all that guidance is given to me, and then I work with our school board, and we make the best decisions we can for the school district. But it's just not one person in isolation making all these decisions. We've got a lot of people working on what it needs to look like for the fall to be best for kids in every program that we're going to offer.
What happens if we do have a positive case, whether it be a student or a staff member?
Unfortunately, we have to plan for that, and we've been given guidance from the Department of Education on exactly what the protocol will be. Each district is to designate a point of contact, and we'll be in direct contact with the Department of Health, and actually they'll give us the protocols. We have a guidebook that we've recently been given from the Department of Education, and what we want is parents to understand fully what we're dealing with and how this will be dealt with. So we're going to actually post that link on our website in the next day or two. So we encourage parents to look through that, and they'll understand exactly how that looks in terms of the flow chart when we deal with these unfortunate situations.
And we do want to encourage parents and students and community members to constantly check our website, cabotschools.org, our social media pages. Right. Dr. Thurman is also on Twitter, because changes happen almost daily, weekly. As always, thank you so much for your patience. If you do have any questions that's not found on our frequently asked questions section, you can still email COVID-19 questions@cabotschools.org.